Why are adults over 50 suddenly eating peanut butter before bed, and is it something you should be doing too? Honestly, the first time I came across this, it sounded a little strange to me as well. Peanut butter before sleep? But then I dug into the science, and what I found genuinely surprised me. My name is Dr. Dan Carter, and over the years working with adults who want to stay strong, sharp, and independent into their 60s, 70s, and beyond, one of the most important things I have learned is this. Some of the most powerful health tools are already sitting in your kitchen, and most people have no idea. What most people over 50 don't realize. Your body after midnight is doing some of its most critical work. It is repairing muscle. It is balancing blood sugar. It is preparing your brain for the day ahead. And what you eat right before bed can either fuel all of that or quietly undermine it. According to a review published by researchers at Harvard Medical School, late-night blood sugar dips are one of the leading hidden causes of poor sleep quality in adults over 50. Most people wake up groggy and blame their age, when the real reason might be something far simpler. Stay with me, because over the next few minutes I am going to walk you through exactly what peanut butter does inside your body while you sleep, who should be eating it, who should be careful, and the single best way to consume it for maximum benefit. Your body at night. It's not shutting down, it's rebuilding. Before we talk about peanut butter specifically, I want to make sure you grasp something most people completely miss. Your body does not shut down when you fall asleep. It actually shifts into repair mode. And this becomes especially important once you are past 50. Here is what is happening beneath the surface while you are lying in bed tonight. Your muscles are going through what scientists call micro-repair. Tiny breakdowns from the day are being rebuilt fiber by fiber. Your brain is flushing out waste products, literally cleaning itself. Your heart rate slows, your blood pressure dips, and your cells are working hard to reset your hormones for the morning ahead. This is real biology, and it happens every single night, whether you support it or not. Now here's where it gets important for you specifically. After 50, this nighttime repair process begins to slow. Your body produces less growth hormone during sleep. Your muscles do not recover as efficiently. And your blood sugar, this is the big one, becomes far less stable overnight than it was in your 30s or 40s. What does that look like in real life? It means you might wake up at 2 or 3 in the morning for no obvious reason. It means you feel stiff and heavy in the morning, even after 7 or 8 hours of sleep. It means your energy feels off before you have even reached for the coffee. Sound familiar? A large-scale study published in Sleep Medicine Reviews found that adults over 50 experience significantly more nighttime blood sugar fluctuations than younger adults. And those fluctuations directly disrupt deep sleep cycles. Most people never connect those dots. They assume it is just aging. They accept it. But here is what I want you to understand. It does not have to be that way. What you eat in that small window before bed, roughly 30 to 60 minutes before lying down, can directly influence every single one of those processes I just described. How peanut butter stabilizes your blood sugar overnight. Let me start with blood sugar, because this is the foundation of everything else. When most people hear blood sugar, they think diabetes. They think medication. They think it is someone else's problem. But the truth is, blood sugar instability affects nearly every adult over 50, whether they have been diagnosed with anything or not. Here is what happens on a normal night without any evening snack. You finish dinner around 6 or 7 p.m. By the time you go to bed, your last meal was 4 or 5 hours ago. Your body has been slowly burning through that glucose, and by midnight, your blood sugar has dropped. When it drops too low, your body panics just a little. It releases stress hormones, cortisol and adrenaline, to pull stored sugar back into your bloodstream. And those stress hormones wake you up. Not dramatically, not with alarm bells, just enough to pull you out of deep sleep, just enough to make you feel restless, just enough to leave you exhausted in the morning, even though you slept for 8 hours. This is where peanut butter becomes genuinely interesting. Peanut butter has a very low glycemic index, meaning it does not spike your blood sugar quickly and then crash it. Instead, it releases energy slowly and steadily over several hours. It contains a balanced combination of protein, healthy fat, and a small amount of complex carbohydrate. That combination is exactly what your body needs to maintain stable blood sugar through the night. According to research from the American Diabetes Association, foods with a low glycemic index consumed before sleep can significantly reduce overnight glucose variability, especially in adults over 50. Think of it like placing a slow-burning log on the fire before you go to bed. The fire does not roar, It does not flare up. It just holds steady, quiet, and warm all night long. That is what peanut butter does for your blood sugar. And when your blood sugar stays steady, your stress hormones stay calm. Your body stays in repair mode, and your sleep stays deep. Sleep quality, not just sleep duration. Here is something most people do not realize. You can spend 8 hours in bed and still get terrible sleep. And the reason often comes down to what your brain has available to work with at night. Melatonin is your primary sleep hormone. Your brain starts producing it as the sun goes down. That is what makes you feel naturally drowsy in the evening. But here's the catch. Melatonin production requires raw materials. Specifically, it needs an amino acid called tryptophan to begin the process. Tryptophan converts into serotonin first, your feel-good, calming brain chemical. And then serotonin converts into melatonin. It is a chain reaction, and if the chain breaks anywhere, your sleep suffers. Peanuts are a natural source of tryptophan. Not the highest source, but a meaningful one. And here's what makes peanut butter uniquely effective for this process. The healthy fats in peanut butter actually help tryptophan cross the blood-brain barrier more efficiently. Let me say that again in plain language. The fat helps get the sleep chemical into your brain faster and more effectively. A study published in the Journal of Psychiatric Research found that dietary fat intake in the evening was positively associated with tryptophan availability in the brain, which directly supported melatonin synthesis in older adults. So you are not just eating a snack. You are essentially handing your brain the building blocks it needs to produce its own natural sleep hormone. That is not a small thing. That is genuinely powerful. How many nights have you stared at the ceiling, frustrated, wondering why sleep does not come easily anymore? What if part of the answer was sitting in your pantry the whole time? The hunger hormones nobody talks about. Let me address something a lot of people over 50 deal with but rarely mention. Waking up hungry in the middle of the night, or lying in bed unable to fall asleep because your stomach is quietly grumbling. Not loudly, just enough to be distracting. This is not weakness. This is not overeating. This is biology. As we age, our hunger hormones shift. Ghrelin, the hormone that tells your brain, I need food, becomes more sensitive. And leptin, the hormone that says, I'm satisfied, stop eating, becomes less effective. This is a documented change that happens in the body after 50. It is not your imagination. And when those hormones are out of balance at night, sleep becomes fragmented. You wake up, you cannot get comfortable, and by morning you are exhausted and often hungrier than you should be. So what does peanut butter do about this? 2 things specifically. First, the protein in peanut butter directly suppresses ghrelin. Studies in the European Journal of Clinical Nutrition have shown that a small, protein-rich snack before bed can meaningfully reduce overnight ghrelin spikes, keeping that feed me signal quieter through the night. Second, the fat content in peanut butter slows gastric emptying. That is just a fancy way of saying your stomach empties more slowly, which means the satisfied feeling lasts longer. You are not stuffed. You are not heavy, you are just comfortable, and comfortable means sleep. One important note, we are not talking about a large snack. We are talking about a small, intentional amount. I will give you the exact quantity in a moment. Muscle repair while you sleep. This part is especially important if you exercise, even lightly, even just walking, because here's what most people do not realize. Muscle does not grow or repair in the gym. It repairs while you sleep. Every step you take, every stair you climb, every bag of groceries you carry, all of these create tiny microstresses in your muscle fibers. That is normal, that is healthy. But the repair only happens at night, during deep sleep, when your body releases growth hormone and gets to work. The problem is that after 50, your body becomes less efficient at this repair process. Scientists call it anabolic resistance. Your muscles simply do not respond to protein as strongly as they once did. You need more protein, delivered more strategically, to get the same result. This is where nighttime protein becomes a real game changer. A landmark study published in Medicine and Science in Sports and Exercise found that consuming protein before sleep significantly improved overnight muscle protein synthesis in older adults, meaning the muscle actually rebuilt itself more effectively during the night. Peanut butter contains around 7 to 8 grams of protein per 2 tablespoons. That is not a massive amount, but at night, when your body is in repair mode and needs a steady amino acid supply, even this modest amount makes a measurable difference. Think of it as leaving the right tools out on the workbench before the night crew arrives. If you are someone who deals with morning stiffness, that creaky, heavy feeling when you first get out of bed, this may be one of the most relevant things you have heard in a while. Your body wants to repair. It just needs the right support to do it well. What you feel when you wake up. Now let's talk about mornings, specifically that groggy, slow, "where am I" feeling that so many people over 50 accept as normal. Most people blame age. They blame poor sleep. They reach for an extra cup of coffee and push through. But here's what is actually happening in many cases. When your blood sugar drops overnight and your body releases stress hormones to compensate, those hormones are still slightly elevated when you wake up. Your cortisol is higher than it should be first thing in the morning. Your body is already in a low-level stressed state before the day has even started. That translates directly into brain fog, low motivation, that heavy, dragging feeling that takes hours to shake. Now flip the script. When your blood sugar stays stable overnight, thanks to that slow-releasing combination of protein and fat from peanut butter, your stress hormones stay calm. Your body completes its repair cycles undisturbed, and your brain wakes up in a rested state. You open your eyes and you feel ready. Not perfect, not superhuman, just clear, present, genuinely rested. Research published in Nutritional Neuroscience found that stable overnight blood glucose was one of the strongest predictors of morning cognitive clarity in adults over 55, stronger even than total sleep duration. So it is not just about how many hours you sleep, it is about the quality of what is happening during those hours. And that small spoonful of peanut butter before bed is quietly supporting every minute of it. The hidden mineral most adults over 50 are missing. I want to go a little deeper here because peanut butter is not just protein and fat. There is a mineral inside it that most people over 50 are quietly deficient in, and it affects sleep, muscle function, heart rhythm, and stress levels all at once. That mineral is magnesium. 2 tablespoons of natural peanut butter contain roughly 49 milligrams of magnesium. That is not a trivial amount. Here is why it matters. Magnesium is often called the relaxation mineral, and for good reason. It activates your parasympathetic nervous system, the part of your brain that tells your body to calm down, slow the heart rate, and prepare for sleep. It also plays a direct role in regulating GABA, a neurotransmitter that quiets brain activity and makes it easier to fall and stay asleep. A large review in magnesium research found that low magnesium levels were strongly associated with insomnia, nighttime muscle cramps, and poor sleep efficiency in adults over 50. And the numbers are concerning. Research suggests that a substantial share of American adults do not get enough magnesium from their diet. Now combine that with the healthy monounsaturated fats in peanut butter. These are the same kinds of fats found in olive oil and avocado, and they actively reduce overnight inflammation. Chronic, low-grade inflammation is one of the core reasons older adults feel stiff, sore, and mentally foggy in the morning. So when you eat peanut butter before bed, you are not just getting a snack. You are getting magnesium to calm your nervous system. You are getting healthy fats to quiet inflammation. You are getting protein to rebuild your muscles, all while you sleep. That is a lot of work from 2 tablespoons. But doesn't eating before bed cause weight gain? I hear this all the time, and I want to address it directly because the science tells a more nuanced story. The idea that eating before bed automatically causes weight gain is an oversimplification. What actually matters is your total daily caloric intake and the type of food you eat late at night. High sugar snacks before bed? Yes, those can promote fat storage, disrupt insulin, and interfere with your metabolism during sleep. But a small, protein and fat-rich snack like peanut butter? The research tells a different story. A study from Florida State University found that a small, protein-rich nighttime snack, around 150 calories, actually improved metabolism and did not contribute to fat gain in healthy adults. In fact, it slightly improved resting metabolic rate by morning. Here is the mechanism. When you go to sleep hungry, with blood sugar crashing overnight, your body interprets that as a mild starvation signal, and the body's response to starvation is to slow metabolism and hold on to fat. When you give your body a small, steady fuel source instead, it stays in repair and burn mode all night. So for adults over 50 who are managing their weight, a small portion of peanut butter before bed is not the enemy. Done right, it might actually support your goals. The key word there is small, and I will cover the exact amount in just a few minutes. What this does for your heart. For many of you, heart health is not just a concept, it is personal. Maybe you have had a scare. Maybe someone close to you has. Maybe your doctor has mentioned cholesterol or blood pressure, and it has been sitting quietly in the back of your mind. This part is for you. Peanut butter is rich in monounsaturated and polyunsaturated fats, the same heart-protective fats researchers have been pointing to for decades. These fats actively work to raise HDL, your good cholesterol, while lowering LDL, the type that can build up in arterial walls. A long-term study published in the New England Journal of Medicine found that regular consumption of nuts and nut butters was associated with a significantly lower risk of cardiovascular events, including heart attack and stroke, in adults over 50. But here is the specifically nighttime angle. Your blood pressure naturally dips during sleep, or at least it should. This nighttime dip is critically important for cardiovascular recovery. In many older adults, this dip does not happen properly. Doctors call it non-dipping, and it is associated with increased heart risk. Research suggests that stable blood sugar and reduced cortisol overnight, both supported by a low glycemic bedtime snack, are associated with healthier nighttime blood pressure patterns. So that small spoonful of peanut butter is not just helping you sleep. It may be quietly protecting your heart every single night. The 3 best combinations. Let's get practical. Peanut butter on its own is good, but paired with the right foods, it becomes even more effective. Here are the 3 combinations I recommend most often, and why each one works. Combination 1, peanut butter plus banana. This is probably the best-known pairing, and there is a good reason for that. Bananas are rich in potassium and magnesium, both of which support muscle relaxation and reduce nighttime cramps. They also contain a small amount of tryptophan and natural sugars that provide a gentle, quick glucose boost, while the peanut butter slows that release down significantly. Together, they create a smooth, sustained energy curve that lasts through the night. 1 medium banana with 1 tablespoon of peanut butter. Simple, effective, and honestly, delicious. Combination 2, peanut butter plus whole grain toast. Whole grain toast adds complex carbohydrates, the slow digesting kind that feed your gut bacteria, support serotonin production, and provide a steady stream of glucose overnight. The fiber in whole grain bread also slows digestion further, extending the satiety effect even longer. This combination is especially good for people who tend to wake up hungry, or who exercise regularly and need a little more overnight fuel for muscle recovery. 1 slice of whole grain toast with 1 to 2 tablespoons of peanut butter. That is it. Combination 3, peanut butter plus apple slices. This is my personal favorite to recommend for people managing their weight. Apples are high in pectin, a type of soluble fiber that feeds beneficial gut bacteria and supports overnight metabolic function. The natural sugar in apples is buffered beautifully by the fat and protein in peanut butter, so there is no blood sugar spike. It is also refreshing, light, and easy on the stomach, which matters when you are eating close to bedtime. Half an apple with 1 tablespoon of peanut butter. Light, satisfying, and metabolically smart. All 3 combinations work. Choose the one that fits your lifestyle, or rotate through them across the week. Not all peanut butter is created equal. This matters more than most people think. Many popular brands are actually loaded with added sugars, corn syrup, dextrose, sugar, plus hydrogenated or partially hydrogenated oils. These ingredients turn a healthy food into something that can spike blood sugar, drive inflammation, and undermine your sleep goals. If you see hydrogenated or partially hydrogenated oils on the label, avoid it. Period. The good news is that real peanut butter is simple. The best option has just peanuts and maybe a little salt. That is it. Yes, the oil separation is normal. Yes, you have to stir it. But that is actually a sign you are eating a natural, unprocessed product. Look for labels like natural, no added sugar, or no hydrogenated oils. Do not get fooled by marketing on the front. Always check the ingredient list. If you want an alternative, almond butter is also a strong choice, offering similar benefits with slightly more magnesium. Who should be careful? Peanut butter before bed is not for everyone. If you have a peanut allergy, avoid it completely and use alternatives like almond butter or sunflower seed butter. For those with acid reflux or GERD, high-fat foods at night may worsen symptoms by relaxing the lower esophageal sphincter, allowing acid to rise. Start small or consult your doctor first. If you are managing type 2 diabetes with medication, bedtime snacks can affect blood sugar timing. Always check with a healthcare professional before making it a daily habit. And if you are in a strict calorie deficit, even healthy calories at night, 100 to 200, may slow weight loss. Track your total intake carefully. For most healthy adults over 50, however, it is generally safe and beneficial. How much and when? Now to the key question. How much should you actually eat? The ideal amount is 1 to 2 tablespoons of natural peanut butter, taken 30 to 60 minutes before bed. This gives around 90 to 190 calories, enough to support stable blood sugar, magnesium intake, and better sleep without feeling heavy. If you combine it with banana, apple, or toast, stick to 1 tablespoon. If eaten alone, 2 tablespoons is fine. Timing matters. Do not eat it right before lying down. Give your body at least 30 minutes to digest properly. And most importantly, consistency beats perfection. Doing this 4 to 5 nights a week for a few weeks is where real changes show up. Better sleep, fewer night awakenings, and steadier morning energy. So there you have it. One simple, inexpensive habit, backed by real science, practical for almost anyone. Peanut butter before bed is not a magic cure, but for adults over 50, it is one of the smartest, most accessible things you can do to support your sleep, your muscles, your blood sugar, and your heart, all at the same time. Your body is working hard for you every single night. The least we can do is give it the right tools. I am Dr. Dan Carter. I will see you in the next one.